Okay. There is kind of a saying or a solid piece of advice when it comes to creating anything. A friend a while back explained to me that in order to become great at anything, or to become good at anything, or even just to enjoy the things you do to a level that you appreciate what it is you're doing, you've got to create. Not just create, you've got to try. You've got to put stuff out there. No matter how good, no matter how bad. And it's not like practice makes perfect. Specifically, it's focusing on the concept that to do anything successfully, you've got to push your way through anything that is considered or perceived as failure. Everybody starts out poo poo at stuff. Nobody starts out good. Nobody starts out perfect. Unless you're some sort of weird savant with a direct connection to the divine, nobody ever creates something that is breathtakingly, stunningly, hilariously amazing on their first attempt. Now, the phrasing that I'm referring to is in relation to art specifically, but it's applied to writing and a whole, like writing, singing, creating music, movies, anything that requires a creative process, but is not necessarily successful upon first attempt. And essentially what that is you need to create like 100 things. You need to just do it. Just make 100 separate, crappy, weird little things. And put them out there. Put them out there. Upload them, showcase them, record them, just do them. And as you do so, pay attention to each and every one of them that you put out. Don't look at it with critical eyes beforehand. Just create it, put it out there, and then look at them. And as you progress, you just keep putting them out, and you just chip away, one at a time. One more, till you reach that 100. And as you're going, you're going to create your 101 your 101st one, and that's going to be good. And then you create another 100, and your 202nd one is going to be better. And then when you look back at the 202 random pieces of shite that you've thrown out there and that you've created, you will see a natural level of progression. If passion exists, and if you're really just trying, if you're just putting it out there, you will see that your second one is invariably in some way, shape or form better than your first one. Your fifth one is better than the fourth. Your 50th is better than the 40th. And the 101st one, that is better than all of the 100 that came beforehand, is monumental. And as long as you're taking that all on board, and as long as you're just throwing your stuff out there, and as long as you remember the reasons you're doing it, the passions that sit behind it, the fun and the joy and the great feeling of reward as you complete yet another one to go up on the wall, the monument of creation, that rivals any of the frustration and the stress and the anxiety and the panic and the nervousness of having to create in the first place. you will see that at the end of the day, it's not important whether you're absolutely amazing or funny or hilarious or creative or just really fucking good at what you do. What ends up mattering is the passion that goes behind it, because as that passion grows, the 101, the 202, the 303, the 1,100 things that you throw out there against the wall, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You are creating. You are aspiring, you are growing, you are learning. And that is advice that was given to me a good while ago by quite a few different people, but one or two in specific. And with that, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Mike, aka the Wildling, and this is going to be my first Let's Play on the Wildling Adventures channel. This is going medieval early access, and I am going to be taking the advice I have been given and that I have actually given to other people, and we are going to start up a series here. And the way I'm going to be running this, so I'm on GeForce Now at the moment. What this means is that this is like a streaming game service thingy. You pay for it. You can do the free version, but you can't play around with the graphics. The main appeal behind this is the ability to pay for it, because if you pay for it, you basically get to knock all your lovely little happy graphics up to the max, and as long as your internet connection is somewhat decent and holds true, you get to play everything pretty. Basically just as pretty as it can be. Now, for some games that's not necessarily vitally important, because any game that holds itself up just on graphics is pretty much just eye candy. There's no meat, no mechanics, no depth, no to it, no detail, no grit. Doesn't matter how pretty it is. It's just a hollow shell. It's just eye candy. Now, the reason why I'm explaining this is because I will be adding a link to GeForce Now in the description for this video when it goes up, because I want to do this right, and I want to do this my way. And doing it right and doing it my way, first of all, kind of entails a little bit of background behind the various different things that I'm going to be doing. So, like, going medieval, one of the reasons why I want to do this is because apparently this is like an absolutely epic city building survival colony something, and the type of games that I fucking love are anything to do with resource management. So whether it's management of people, weaponry, stats, loot, or just flat out resources, it's just my bread and butter, my jam. Now, I'm also going to put up a warning in events here. First of all, this is going to be a separate video, because this is the intro to my channel and also the intro to the first series that I'm doing, and we're already at 8 minutes. So basically I'm going to say the type of gameplay that I'm going to be going for here is not going to be your standard fare run-of-the-mill kind of... I don't know. I don't know what run-of-the-mill is at this point, because me doing my research on other YouTubers and how they kind of do stuff and whatnot, it's varied, it's across the board, it's across the spectrum. But like I said, I'm not actually aiming to be great in any way, shape or form. I have a very particular play style that I quite enjoy, and it's getting into the nitty gritty of it. It's getting into the details. It's faffing around, fucking around and finding out, if you will. But it's also the emergent aspect that exists within almost every single game anyone can play. The stories that end up telling themselves are cropping up when you're intending on doing something else. From something as simple as aiming to follow the Master Chief 117 John, whatever the fuck his name is, as he goes across the Halo universe, which I know next to nothing about, and accidentally realizing that John's actually quite a derp, keeps team killing his own men, and is absolutely terrified of hunters. All the way over to basically planning to build a nice, calm little village and ending up with a bunch of sadistic cannibals that have an obsession with chickens. The idea is to let the game kind of play itself. So I'm gonna drop another little bit of nuggety wisdom before I jump into the... Basically, before I end this recording, add it as a separate one and start the actual game up, if you will. Something I've kind of learned from being a DM for nearly 2 decades now at this point. The best DMs that exist in the world, dungeon masters that exist in the world, games masters, whatever you want to call them, are not the ones who will railroad their characters into a specific storyline. They're the ones who basically let their players loose on the battlefield, in the town, in the middle of a forest. They set up the world so that the world is not fixed onto encounter levels, but rather is completely fucking random. Like, design the fucking world itself as a shell, but everything that happens in it is free flowing. And then let the players create the story. Let the players tell the story. Let all the random shit that they bump into and all the shenanigans that they go on and the repercussions of their actions, and just let the emergent side of the story crop up. Throw your script out the window, or more accurately, keep the script by your side so you have points of reference for how they're going to alter things. But don't stick to it. Don't stick to the rules of how the game is supposed to be played. Don't stick to the script of how your villain's going to trump this guy, that guy, or the other one. Don't aim for the cataclysm that the heroes have to stop. Instead, let the players, aka the heroes of the story, create their own stories. Follow them where they want to go. Follow the actions and reactions of every little thing they do. From robbing some poor innocent innkeeper to saving that completely random squirrel that actually turns out to be a pit fiend at the end of the day, just running around causing havoc. Just follow them. Let the emergence come out and tell that story. Because regardless of any story you start wanting to tell, the story they end up telling without any plan, without any conniving or communication or strategizing on their part, just the random shit that they can get up to, will always make for a far more interesting story than anything you can be bothered telling. Anything you could possibly create, any loophole you could attempt to cover, any boss you could ever power level, anything that they can emergently create within your universe will always be a far more interesting story. And it's a hard fact. And it's so rewarding, both for you and for them. So with that being said, the focus of this channel is going to be on any and all emerging gameplay that I can draw out from any of the games that I decide to do, which is one of the reasons we're going to be starting off with Going Medieval. Because at the moment where this game sits, there's a lot of interesting stories that can be told. So with that, I'm going to end this particular video now, because this is the intro to my channel and the intro to Going Medieval and the intro to me. I hope some of these words hit true. Hopefully someone has watched this right to the end. And if you have watched this to the end, I hope you're looking forward to the first Let's Play that I wanted to say throw up, but that sounds a little bit weird. The first Let's Play I upload. The first of 101. The first of 202, and hopefully the first of a great, great many. So keep safe. Enjoy yourselves. And I'll see you shortly for my first adventure. It's Mike, aka the Wildling. See you shortly.